We need offensive linemen. We need podcasters. We need good men. Geoff Schwartz is here. Bear bets.
Yes.
And look, let's just start at the start here. The Bears need help up front.
Yes.
Are you paying Trey Smith $21 million to be a guard for the Chicago Bears when you have no guards?
He's going to get like 25. I mean, 21 feels light.
Okay, 25. Would you do that?
I think it depends on how else you're building your line, right? Like, I think Trey is sort of two things. One is he can come in and, for like a young offensive line, be like the leader, right? And he's a great leader. He's stepping in that role really well as he matures in the NFL. And he can also just be like the final piece for a line that just needs one more guy. I'm not sure that's the Bears' idea. Like, I think you bring him in as like a leader of your group and some toughness. And obviously, if he wins, he will have won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. And the other year, they lost the AFC Championship game by 3. I mean, so the winning part of it, right? But I don't. Is that the final piece of the offense? Though it's a lot of money to pay.
But
I love Trey, but he's an awesome dude. But that's a lot of money to pay when you have other needs, I think.
So here's the thing, though. The Bears had 8 captains last year, which is way too many.
You should have 4.
Okay, but none of them.
3.
Yeah, it was way too many. But even with 8 captains, no offensive linemen captains. And it's like, so to me, if you're telling me he's a leader, isn't that insane?
It's like 10% of your roster is a captain.
Well, there was one day where Matt Eberflus started reading off his leadership council. It was like 20 people. I'm like, that's half your roster.
It should be one a position for leadership council.
Yeah. But if he's a leader, like I hear that, I'm like, that's what the Bears need. They need somebody on that offensive line to kind of take charge.
And he will definitely be that guy. I mean, he again, it's like, so, in the summer we have the O-line masterminds with Duke Manyweather, and Trey comes every year, and like every year you see him like taking more of a leadership role in the event, and that sort of he's ready for that. Like, I'm running the offensive line type situation. Obviously, I think it's Joe Thuney. It probably is in Kansas City, but I think Trey's ready for that now. So maybe that's what Chicago needs as far as like just let's get a guard. But he's going to get a lot of money, more than 21. I mean, last year I think Robert Hunt was getting like 25. He's going to get the most ever for a guard. I mean, he's a good football player, multiple-time champion. Like, he's going to demand the most money we've ever seen for a guard.
Well, we heavily recruited him this week, and I think he fell in love with us. So we think the Bears are going to have an edge.
You need to stop bringing that
because
up.
of it. I'm not.
I'll tell you what. He got obviously dropped in the draft because he had the blood clot issue, which has been silly because he's been fine. So he deserves all the money that he's going to get.
Geoff Schwartz, Panthers, Vikings, Chiefs, Giants, Lions. Were you vocal? Were you the vocal guy ever in any offensive line room? Was that your role?
Well, when I was at the Lions my last year, I was the oldest guy by 4 years, which is insane. I was only 30. But Riley Reif was 26. Like, that was just a young group of guys. So I was probably looked at as like the grandpa in the room, like essentially. But I had done it for a while. It was my 9th year. So I don't know if I ever took the role of like, I was only there 4 months. But one thing I did as I got older is I would like take charge as far as making sure that the questions were asked in the meeting room that the other guys didn't want to ask. Like, I knew what to ask the coaches, even though I knew the answer, and coaches knew that too, but just to help guys understand the process of learning, the questions to ask. And just, guys are embarrassed to ask questions sometimes in meetings. So I did that a bunch. But part of it was like, it's hard because I was hurt, man. Like, I was hurt in New York. It's hard. They brought me in to be that guy. And then Chris Snee gets hurt. And then like, I'm the oldest on the offensive line. And I got hurt. Like, you can't be a leader when you're hurt. And I only played 13 games in 2 years. So it's hard to assume that role when you're always hurt.
As you can imagine, we've pretty much asked everyone this week. But Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams pairing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, the best people the best coaches are able to adapt their offense to the quarterback they have, right? So I don't get this idea. I see people say, well, the offense he ran in Detroit is not what Caleb Williams is good at. We don't know, first of all, because that offense everyone seems to be good at. Like Jared Goff was, Caleb Williams can't do that, and then you add in some quarterback runs, some of the stuff he can do. I think the thing you have to do immediately is get him confident, right? You need to make sure that he feels comfortable to get the ball out quickly. We saw some of those USC tendencies, I feel like, right? The holding the ball a little bit too long and just not being comfortable and confident. I think early on, the first thing you got to do is, like, when you start out, you've got to just start and get him easy completions like the first practice. Like, we're going to get you some easy stuff, start feeling good in the offense, and then I think it's going to work out. I think Caleb Williams is supremely talented, and he needs a coach like Ben Johnson.
Fingers crossed on that one.
Well, and Ben did say right away, we are going to build. This is not going to be the Lions' offense. We're going to build.
Well, that's what you
Build
that's
it
what
for
you
Caleb.
should do. Like, it's so silly to just. That's what we were talking yesterday on the radio with EJ Manuel, who I was doing college sports radio with, and he was a 2013 draft pick, and we were just talking about the idea that, like, even back then, 10 years ago, a lot of times coaches were just, this is my offense, and you're running my offense.
That's what Nagy did when he got to Chicago.
And it's like, that's not what you should do. Now, of course, your concepts that you like, you should be able to run, but then you have to either tailor those concepts to what a quarterback does well, or just create new stuff. I mean, Andy Reid runs his West Coast offense, but from the shotgun now. Like, that's just, Patrick Mahomes feels more comfortable in doing that, so that's what he does. The routes are the same. Everyone's always like, well, that's new. It's not a new offense. He just adapted it to fit Patrick Mahomes. So that's what the best coaches do.
Do you look at, just to take us to Sunday, do you look at this Chiefs team, if they win, as the greatest run in NFL history, and best team of all time?
I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, three in a row. There hasn't even been a team that's won 2 and made it to a third Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it has to be. This would be what, 4 and 6 years?
5 years, right?
5 and 7, I want to say. That's
Four.
I'm forgetting.
No,
Four's right.
Yeah, because
4
one
and
year they
6.
didn't make it, and then the other year they lost to the Bucs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so because they won in 19, 22, 23, 24.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think you have to feel that way. But it's funny part about, like, legacy stuff is, even if they lose this game, to me it doesn't diminish what they've done.
Right.
It's an incredible run they've had. If they win, obviously, like, it's incredible. So I think they win because I have to be proven otherwise. Like, I need someone, they have to lose. Like, they have to lose to be like, I mean, in 7 years they've lost 3 playoff games, including a Super Bowl. That's it. And they've lost one of those, obviously, by a blowout. Otherwise, it's 3 points in overtime twice.
It is wild. Patrick Mahomes, the earliest his season has ever ended was in overtime of the AFC Championship.
Is a starter.
Crazy.
Yeah. Is a starter.
Yeah, starter, because we're not counting the rookie.
Trying to remember back. I think the Bears could have drafted him. Is that right?
But think about this. If you were drafted in 2022, you've played every game available to you. Like, Trent McDuffie and Karlaftis do not know what it feels like to lose a playoff game. They've never lost a playoff game.
That's crazy.
Also insane.
Yeah.
That's
right?
wild.
They've never lost a playoff game.
How's your brother?
He's good. Yeah, he's just golfing, man. He loves just golf every day, man. He's into new dad, but still golfing.
Did your parents know that they were going to have – we birthed 2 football players? That's insane, too.
They've always said they would have had more if they had known, but no, they were unaware.
Yeah. Like the Watt family at least had 3.
Yeah, they had 3, yeah. So, no, they obviously did no idea.
Do you tell Mitchell that, hey, if I had stayed healthy, I was a better player, and you know this? It's just a fact.
No, he was better than me, even when I was healthy.
Okay.
He played a style of football that's hard to replicate. He was just so consistent. So when you play offensive line, one of the things, a lot of times defensive linemen have success working off of us. A lot of guys don't have like a primary move per se. They take advantage of what we're doing to them. And Mitch didn't give anything to anyone. His pass set was the same every time. It was so patient. He didn't give his hands away. He didn't give his feet away. He didn't give bad position. And so guys just didn't know what to do. And there was a quality to that. Like he just, that's the way he played football. And you watch guys and I would think like, why didn't this guy do this to Mitch? It's just, that's the way he played. Like he didn't give any option to defensive lineman.
One more on the, just because you played a banged up career. Tevin Jenkins has had trouble staying on the field. But when he's there, he's there. I mean, he's played violent, super violent at times. Would you take a flyer on him if you were the Bears, or like, hey man, if it's going that way, it's just going to get worse?
Well, it depends what his evals are. I mean, so my injuries were like not on the field. I mean, I broke my leg on the field, but it wasn't like hamstring pulls or genetic stuff. Like when you start having injuries, it's his back, right?
Yeah.
Back, and this seems to have moved to other things in the lower body.
Like when your back's messed up, the other stuff starts hurting. So like that's a degenerative thing sometimes, right? Where like there's no amount. Like when my ankle broke, my ankle just heals, right? And it just like gets better. The back, it's hard. Like it doesn't just get better, to be honest. So it's about managing the pain, and teams are just not gonna. They just don't pay guys that are hurt, right? I mean, I get it. You have to be available, and he's not been. So And also, like, if you're building an offensive line, new staff, like, how do you count on someone who's always hurt? And it's something I had to come to terms with as a player. Like, I got hurt a bunch. It wasn't my fault. Like I said, there was no muscle pulls. It wasn't lack of training. I just had injuries on the field. And it sucks to be put in that category of injury prone. You can't be trustworthy. But now that I'm out of the NFL, I totally get it.
Right. Well,
thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Geoff Schwartz, you're the man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Take care, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you.